Hi, this is Michael Williams, founder of the Start Speaking Training Center, and I just recently, in fact yesterday, released a video on dealing with difficult letters, words, and situations like speaking on the telephone. And I received an awesome comment. The comment said, Michael, I've been watching your videos and I've been practicing and actually seeing amazing results. However, once I start to improve, once I start to see amazing results, I stop practicing, I stop doing the affirmations, and I start losing my motivation. So what can I do? How can I stay motivated, right? So I felt like that was such an important question, such an important issue that many of us have to struggle with, not just in speaking, but in many other areas of our life, especially when it comes to things like changing habits, right? Changing habits, changing patterns of behaviors, or achieving goals. How can we stay motivated? So I wanted to take several minutes in this video to talk to you about this very critical subject, because the fact is, unless we stay motivated, it's very unlikely that we'll achieve anything that we set out in life to achieve. It's very unlikely that we'll be able to overcome habits unless we're able to stay motivated. So what I want to do is to just give you three things for you to think about. Three things for you to think about. You can think of them as 3 steps, 3 keys, 3 techniques, or just 3 simple things to think about that I've used in my life, and I'm sure that many other people have used, and I think that you'll find that they make perfect sense. The first thing for you to do is to simply remind yourself as to why you're doing this in the first place. So whatever it is that you're doing, if it's a goal, remind yourself why you set that goal in the first place. If it's a habit that you're trying to overcome, remind yourself why you need to overcome that habit. So let me repeat this. Remind yourself why you need to do this in the first place, whatever this is. Remind yourself why, now watch this, why you need to do this. Now notice I'm emphasizing 2 words, right? I'm emphasizing why, and I'm emphasizing, what's the next word? Need. Remember, in the last part of the other video, if you watched it, I said that in my private intensive coaching programs, I'm looking for people who don't just want to stop stuttering, but I'm looking for people who what? Who need to speak well. Who need to speak well because they feel called to speak well. So, one of the first things that you want to do to stay motivated, to get motivated, to stay motivated, is to think about, why do I need to achieve this goal, right? Even if it's overcoming a habit, that's a goal, right? Or I need to change my pattern of speaking. I need to start speaking well. Why do I need to do this? And you should need to do it, not just want to do it. Why? Because if someone wants to do something, well, once they've done it, or once they've approached it, like once they start to experience the results, then the motivation kind of goes away, right? Because it's a desire, something that you want. It can be a very strong desire, but something that you want. But when you need to do something, right? If, in fact, you can look at it on a scale. Here's just something that I want to do. It's okay if I do it, and it's kind of okay if I don't do it. On the other end of that scale of desire is need. Here's something that I need to do, right? I absolutely have to do it. So the stronger that desire, the more it approaches and becomes and is a need, the more likely it is that you're going to stick with it. So as you think about speaking well, as you think about speaking smoothly and fluently and sticking with those things that you're doing that will help you do that, you want to remind yourself, why do I need to do this? Now let's go a little deeper. One of the things that I talked about in one of my programs called the DAM strategy, the D stands for decide why you want to start speaking fluently, why you don't want to overcome stuttering. Why? Well, why is that important? It's important because you need to have reason. Now listen, that's outside of yourself, that's beyond yourself, that drives you, that pushes you, or that pulls you to do whatever is necessary for as long as necessary to begin speaking smoothly and fluently and confidently, right? You need to have a reason that's beyond yourself, that's outside of yourself, that pushes you, that drives you to do everything you need to do for as long as you need to do it to reach that goal of speaking smoothly and fluently and confidently. So for me, it was that I felt called, right? I felt called to help other people. Even when I was a young boy, I felt called to, in some way, give people advice that they didn't want, right? So I would be giving out advice and nobody really wanted it. And eventually, I got into a profession where people did begin to appreciate my advice. But have you ever known people that give you advice that you don't want and that you don't need? Well, that was me when I was younger. And so at a very young age, I knew that I was called to teach, to share, to counsel, to coach, to do whatever. And so that's the career that I ended up in. And this is not like work to me. This is a pleasure. It's like almost fun. It's something that I feel called to do. Now, in order to do this, now listen to this, in order to do this and to do it well, to do it effectively, I had to be able to speak well. I had to be able to speak well. So stuttering was not something that I was going to be able to do and answer my calling and do it well. So I had to figure out a way to overcome this stuttering, but not just overcome the stuttering, but to actually become a better speaker, right? To become a better speaker. Now, I'm not saying that you have to want to do the same thing I want to do. People like James Earl Jones and other people have stuttered. In fact, many of the actors, many of the people who have gotten to a place where stuttering no longer controls their life, what's one of the things that they all have in common? Their careers consist of speaking, right? Whether it's drama, whether it's acting, whatever it's doing, it consists of them speaking, right? They speak, they love speaking, and so they needed to do whatever they needed to do to become great speakers, great communicators. I want to challenge you, in fact, I submit to you that if you want to become an excellent speaker, that if you actually want to overcome stuttering, which is really going to be a byproduct, if you want to become a smooth, fluent, confident speaker, you're going to have to speak more. You're going to have to love speaking, and you're going to have to do something, right, that requires you to speak a lot, and to speak often, and to enjoy it. One of my clients, one of my best students, says that when she speaks fluently, she actually enjoys speaking. It's so much more relaxing, and she just enjoys it. So when you speak well, you'll probably enjoy speaking. But if you're just someone who just, for just social reasons, just doesn't want to stutter anymore, well, yes, this can work for you, but chances are, if you're someone that needs to speak well, and you need to speak well because